So the way I think the whole premise is basically that because like obviously cameras are so advanced now in the early 21st century that even though something might not be in shot, there's enough light scattering to be able to kind of like, to present a shape that is not currently in shot, let's say. You'll see an example of it there in the next crime scene photo, but like it's a case of like, okay, we can make it what's on the desk from here this point on because we have enough data to basically AI it almost to kind of like,
A sushi
extrapolate what's
menu
there.
from Howie
Yeah,
Lee's.
it can be
Give me a hard
asked to
copy of
see
that.
what is
Oh,
assumed what technology is going to become in a medium to short amount of time. Like you look back at uh, like so, you take a look at different shows that are set in the future or shows that have an episode set in the future and where they
Mm.
think things are going to be. Um, remember there was a show in the 80s called V, and it had like futuristic tech that was
Yeah.
based in futuristic 2005.
Mm.
Everything is holograms, everything is chrome,
Yeah.
and that didn't materialize.
But again, you get that with every sci-fi kind of movie, though.
Oh
If
yeah,
you like Tron is a good example of that because, like, there's no way in hell that you're ever going to get a world like Tron. But because like something awful happened in the world of Tron to precipitate it looking like that, in the same way with Blade Runner,
yeah,
like it's not a coincidence that everything is because the world went to shit because of a nuclear holocaust. So this is how the world rebuilt itself, and they all have different needs and requirements. Kind of way. It's like
yeah.
you know, with the environment being so bad as it is, and like needing to basically mine Mars for resources. You now have the consequences of your actions, which is like all these replicants coming back home to seek revenge on their human masters. So here's the Esper really doing us a solid here.
He looks familiar. Give me a hard copy of that.
So this is our main replicant. He's the one that we're going to be chasing throughout the majority of the game.
A black ground car. Looks like it's been around the block a few times. Give me a hard copy of that.
Love the distinction, between it's not just a car, it's a brand car.
Yeah. But again, checks out. Like again, if we have flying cars, we're gonna have to make a distinction. Like, do we call it a flying car? Do we call it something else? You know? Like, at which point does it stop being a car and ends up being the plane? Now that we know that, like, from forensics, that half the stuff in the shop weren't real animals. Um, it's interesting to see. Does that come across in the rendering? Probably not. Let's point out, by the way, like newspapers in the future, green writing on black paper is a choice.
mm. I kind of
Green,
get it though, because
green on black is how Linux would appear in a lot of
yeah,
cases.
like it's a
Good point,
computer
actually.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, for coding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not completely alien, I suppose.
I mean, coding is alien.
That's true.
And
So this.
if you don't have your newspaper in dark mode, are you some kind of freak?
Jeez, can you imagine dark mode newspapers? Like that's the real future there, isn't it?
I mean,
Like like you think it would just be commonplace for someone to have like a tablet, for instance. Like this is my I don't know Guardian tablet, and I'll just like pop down to the local news agents, download the latest publishings, and read it from my tablet. Like that's kind of what we do now, but it didn't evolve that way. It evolved a different way. It's weird.
yeah.
He looks familiar.
When you're using the Esper, is it the game itself doing it automatically, or is it you?
So when I crop, so all that I do is like select which area I want to investigate.
Yeah.
So when
Okay.
I click in there, it will then zoom in to as far as it can go in that.
So you weren't able to
Um,
look at your man behind.
no, so that's the saying. I couldn't actually see who that second person was. So again, much to that point. So again, a good example would be that we've like this guy like is is our main kind of like antagonist, if you like. But we want to like try and see who the second guy behind him is. So the game might have picked who that second person is, but we can't make them out.
Oh.
Mhm.
Hence why it'll probably become clear who the suspect is. But again, there could be a choice of three or four in the game that we have to
Decipher
decide
between.
upon. Yeah. And the game does typically like work out like basically if you've identified the replicant and you've taken them out,
Mainframe,
it basically
issue
moves on then
warning.
to the next one. It's very
Mainframe,
rare that you'd
issue
have like
ground
two or three
floor.
lab replicants on the go hunting you down.
Yeah.
So you can see here, seems like this LAPD building is very much like an old train station. Going with the big empty hallways and like unnecessarily long amount of seats. Like this is a huge foyer for LAPD. It's a bit weird. This is Guza here,
Brian, go
nomming on
on
a file
permanent
report.
leave and you get full use of the office, Lieutenant?
You know the procedure. Dump it all in the mainframe upstairs and I'll read it later.
You got it.
As you can see, he is
Sorry to
very,
bother you, Lieutenant. I was just
very,
checking.
very much
We'll
appreciative
get
of his
back
job. You
out
know.
there. Those reps ain't retiring themselves.
Yeah, suicidal targets would make my job a lot easier.
So guys, even the language that
job.
they use is interesting. Like you're not
Sorry
killing,
to
you're not
bother you,
you're not
Lieutenant. I
like
was just checking.
killing these
We'll get back
replicants or
out
murdering
there.
them.
Those
You're
reps ain't
retiring them.
themselves.
You know, like they've
Yeah,
they've
suicidal
arbitrarily
targets
decided
would
like
make
these
my
aren't
job a
humans, so
lot
we're not
easier.
treating them as humans.
Everybody's
So
got a
we're going to
job.
use language to suit that. So again, these are all points that are made in the movie as well. Where like the replicants are rightfully saying we just want to survive, we just want to live. Why is it arbitrarily decided that we need to die and you get to live? Um, a very important piece of lore from the movie that will come into play in this as well is that replicants are only designed to live for 4 years and then they basically go kaput. It's like their battery basically goes out.
Yeah. Okay.
So the Meeseeks then.
Yes, very much so. Well, Meeseeks are very much
Are they
replicants.
letting me
Like
out?
that's
I'm not the one who makes
like
that decision.
if we're being fair
I
here,
suppose
like
it's my turn to bear the cross for the cause.
so when you have something like this replicant situation and very clearly what it is meant to be a human rights violation, you have replicant sympathizers and that guy in the
Not
cells there
humans.
Laboratory.
you know well, again, they're not humans, so but again the whole argument is should they be given the same rights as humans?
I don't know. I think we gotta invoke the speech of Mewtwo in Pokemon, the fourth movie.
Well, bear in mind, Casey, that movie wouldn't exist in this universe. That moral message that we all grew up on is gone. It's not there. Maybe that's the butterfly effect that we have. That because Pokemon never took off as a franchise, because nuclear holocaust, and snowballs from
Okay.
there. No Pokemon Go means no social networking, that sort of stuff.
Okay. I'll take that argument. Mewtwo speech doesn't exist. I'll give you Splinter's argument then in Turtles 2. Do not
It's from your
confuse
place, isn't it?
do not confuse the specter of your origin with your present worth.
See you later, Howie.
I'm gonna have to see now with that working. Would that suit in canon? Hang on.
That's some commie shit if I ever heard it.
Okay, James, you're on my Aaron list now.
That's Cork Aaron, by the way, not regular Aaron.
Is it regular Aaron?
There's a regular Aaron. Yeah, you've met a regular Aaron.
Oh, is he dragon?
No,
No.
that's
Oh, right.
hat guy.
Hold on, I'll just do an apology. No, I'm just drawing blank.
That's okay. I do the same with Aaron all the time. But yes, hello. Look, our chef is back.
Oh, well, you can't. Could you kill him?
Yeah, he's after us.
Oh, he was out. I thought he was running from us.
No,
Why
he was
did he-
chasing after him to the meat cleaver. He was a replicant.
Oh,
Okay, so that was a caught by a traffic camera. There are
Rumor
now going to
has
be
it you've
riots
been
in
earning
LA
your
for the next
stripes
few
for
months.
No, again, this one was a real Blade Runner or a
Working on it.
real replicant.
Keep
This
it
is
up.
fair game.
You just might have a
Hmm?
future in this business.
Look, it's
I
all in
understand he's
how
got a
you
hell
look
of
at
a
it. I think
retirement
that was the
plan.
defense that was used at
You
the
VK
time.
the mark before
Yes,
retirement?
it's how you interpret it.
Didn't have to.
That's why they call it the magic.
I'm starting to understand.
You ever retire a human, your career is over. Remember that. I checked with
Jesus.
UN Air. Looks your rep swung that moonbus massacre last month.
They ever find the moon bus?
Disappeared into thin air. Brian thinks it crashed out in the Kipple.
How many reps we talking about?
Enough. They're Nexus 6s. So don't take too much slack.
Gotcha.
So that guy we're talking to there is Gaff. Full name is Victor Gardell.
Yuck.
He is the most senior replicant or senior Blade Runner on staff. So whenever we
Yuck.
we successfully knocked out a replicant, he'll
Yuck.
pop up to, it's almost the case like he was chasing him as well, but we got there first type of job.
Ah.
By the way,
AKA.
Door number, please.
I did check that, by the way. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out after Blade Runner, so
Oh.
even Splinter's speech wouldn't be in the common parlance.
Shit. Yeah, oh yeah, because this is 80s, isn't like.
Yeah, Blade Runner would have been
I lived
1982,
with
so
the
think
best
like
gal I've
eight,
ever
basically
seen.
from
She
80s
was
beyond
true now,
before.
full of life
Yep.
and love.
Nope.
Okay, so is there
Cost me
any
about
inspirational
$1
shit
salary.
from
She
the
was worth it. It was good
70s?
to have someone warm nearby after completing a dirty job. And the
Oh.
On
retirement
Lennon?
swag from this case would go toward getting her a partner. Maggie, come here, girl.
My
Imagine all
mind
the
is-
people if they were, living free and not cyborgs.
I'm trying to think of quotes from that 70s show.
I'm trying to think. Wait. What year was Blade Runner out again? 80 what?
1982.
Here you go, baby.
82.
Dinner time.
Damn, Dragon Ball was 86, so
Here
I
you
can't
go,
even look at
baby.
Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
nice
as like
try.
a circle.
Akira, I think, was
Maggie, come here,
1983, so you can't even use that either. And that was like on a very similar vein of like the world is fucked.
Yeah.
Who's the best dog in the whole
Sailor
world?
Moon?
Who's the best dog in the whole
Okay.
world?
Now we're starting to stretch a little bit.
Here you
We're
go,
starting
baby.
to
Dinner time.
I think we're starting to reach the bottom of this barrel here.
Oh yeah.
But yes, so this is McCoy's apartment, and we have a dog.
Nice.
Cool. We have a
Real
Tina.
dog. Yeah, it's called Maggie.
That's what I called my car.
Yes, very good dog.
So how certain are we that Maggie is not a replicant?
Your floor number.
Well, we don't.
I
McCoy thinks-
refuse to
McCoy,
shoot a dog.
88F.
88.
You don't have to shoot a dog.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, like you can choose not to shoot the dog. You don't gotta wait. You have free will. In the same way that you can choose not to shoot the replicant. Like if you let the replicant go, just something else, just a different consequence happens.
So you could have let the butcher go. Or
Well,
the-
in that instance, there the butcher was going to kill you. Like you didn't really have much of a choice in the matter. But if you have more suspects in the future and you let them go,
Zubin was the first
if you let them go, you
Nexus
let them
6
go.
I'd
That's
come
it.
up against.
Could you have walked
His
away?
eyes,
Could you have
almost
just like walked a
primordial
little
desire
faster
to live.
than the
Most
butcher?
of the 3s, 4s, and 5s I'd seen would just give up.
I thought you probably could have
But
wounded
these
him,
6s,
and he
they
might
were
have
a
just wandered
whole
off or
other
something.
breed.
So that could have happened, or perhaps Gaff would have got there and killed him first. We don't know. But basically, that's our first confirmed kill. And yeah, it was Zubin who. So we are reasonably satisfied that Zubin was the second guy to do the to hit the animal palace.
Yeah.
Sloppy cuts with a knife, like the perp was really pissed off at something.
So again, now the one thing I would say about the game is that there actually is no formal way to say I've identified who this is and enter it into the mainframe and say I've solved the case. That I think would be more like an actual the thing that this game is actually missing as such. But again, I think the programming is so kind of like is kind of like engineered on top of each other. Like the game will mark the case as solved if we have got the right replicant.
Gents, I'm sorry, my connection drops a little bit every now and again.
That's all right.
No messages.
So,
And
when I was looking at that, it was you're looking
Violent
at
street
all the
crime in
different
the
clues. It
city
doesn't
rose
go
again
through the
last
clues
year
that
by a
you
whopping
ignored or missed
26%,
at
according to
any
the
point,
latest
does it?
figures from the
Exactly,
Department of
yeah. Like
Justice.
you're only
Governor
working with
Kohlberg
what you
attributed the
found.
change to the
So if
dramatic
you miss the
increase in
crucial
the number
integral
of
clue that gets
specials
Zuben
registered
off
as
the
city
hook, then
residents and
sorry,
promised a tough
you've
new
like
set
you
of
killed who
standards
you
for the
think is a
City
replicant.
Immigration
So
Bureau by
you
next
submit your case
month.
against him. You might have been wrong. Doesn't matter now.
Of the
He's
sleeping
dead and
spy.
he's presumed replicant. Now we move on to the next day.
Got your delivery here, man.
What?
Kingston Kitchen.
Oh, yes, right. Hold on.
Hey, Kofi.
No relation, I'm sure.
Is this what the gravity be like on Mars?
Oh, no. It's about a third of what we got here on Terra. Real comfy. How about turning
That's one thing.
that
At what point is
knob,
Earth
okay?
renamed to
When
Terra?
I
Like,
say- Oh!
it get another sci-fi trope.
Can you
Yeah.
control your rat?
I'll have you know that Ricky's a purebred chihuahua, and he's totally real.
Things going good at Tyrell
How you can tell from the
Corporation?
render, it looks very real indeed.
Boring, boring. Old man Tyrell's been on a Wagner kick lately. He never shuts up.
You also do outside work.
Sweetie, I never go outside. It's bad for the glands.
How about Nexus 6? You know a lot about them?
I think you should be going now.
Understand good, it holds deep meaning for me now. Where be your research on Nexus 6? And your test studies, contacts, the works.
Only simulator. Expert terrestrial gravity.
One more minute, you be swallowing this explosive. 3 more minutes, they be hosing you off the True Life building across town.
No, I swear. I don't have anything. If I did, I'd give it to you.
My people sick and dying. You tell me something.
Talk to Dr. Tyrell.
Tell me something I don't know.
The organ designers. Miraji, Hannibal Chu, Luther and Lance. They're closer to him than I am.
Where?
DNA Row. They're all working down on DNA Row.
You one miserable package man.
No! No, please, don't!
Damn.
Oh,
Yes. So, this is where it kind of crosses over a bit with the movie. So once we have some quiet time, I'll fill in the
Very
blanks.
funny.
Early bird slays the worm, McCoy.
Don't worry, I'm up, Lieutenant. What's the buzz?
One of Tyrell's employees got his fat face splattered all over the marble interior of the Tyrell building.
Inside?
That's right. But we also got a sweet little break-in. Tyrell's surveillance system recorded the whole shebang.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
How many perps?
Just one. I don't know if it's related to the Runstead deal or not. Tyrell security will have the disc for you when you get there. You'll be good, killer.
So, so yeah, the names that they mentioned there. So the way the replicants actually work is essentially there's organs kind of synthetically made for them from like stem cells and other like actual organic people, let's say.
Maggie, come here,
And
girl.
you basically have all these kind of like scientists who work for the Tyrell Corporation that are they subcontract work essentially. So like if you need a set of eyes, then Miraji is your eye, your Chew is your eye guy. If you're looking for like a heart and lungs, you're looking at Miraji. He does heart and lungs the best way. And then like the twins Luther and Lance, who we don't see much of, I don't think in the movies I recall. So they could like do something like the brain, let's say, for instance. And these guys are they make the best organs, so therefore they go
Here
into
you
the
go,
Nexus
baby.
6.
Dinner
That's the
time.
way they operate. And it is essentially the intention is to basically make the replicants look the most real, the most human possible, because then they integrate better with the whoever else is offsite on Mars. They do the most work. They're all that sort of stuff. So the only real way you'd know if someone's a replicant or not is by doing what's called a void conf test, which is perhaps what people remember the most out of the movies. Is an actual it's kind of like a psychological test that that all Blade Runners are trained and equipped in doing. So we actually do get to do a couple of those VKs in the game. Basically, the crack is you're essentially you're like describing scenarios to your suspected replicants and seeing if they elicit an emotional response.
Okay.
Because essentially the replicants are like designed sociopaths. So no matter what scenario you give them, they're not going to elicit a response. Or what they might do is they might elicit the wrong response. So like their blood pressure might go high instead of low when it's like a wholesome story, or like their pupils will dilate when they're not meant to, and stuff like this. So we should see a few examples of that in the game, and I kind of you'll probably see how it works beyond that.